Welcome to the Miami Condo Minute. I'm Peter Zalewski. I'm a condo consultant. I'm also the founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. Check out our website, miamicondo.club. If you give me a minute, I'll give you some valuable information about the South Florida condo market. What are we talking about today? We are talking about how buyers and investors are being sidelined in the Brickell Avenue area simply due to the fact that units are overpriced. They're overpriced by about 215% if you rely on something called the 1% rule. 1% rule is a fundamental way to effectively figure out where do I want to spend time chasing after units and which building should I simply pass on. That's something I'm going to get into shortly. But before I do, let me tell you why I'm focusing on the Brickell Avenue area for this particular Miami Condo Minute. Simple. We're doing a 3-hour walking tour this Saturday. That'll be July the 26th. We're going to spend about 3 hours wandering about 4 miles. We're going to take a look at a variety of different buildings. In fact, there's 101 condo projects with just under 30,000 units in this stretch of the Brickell Avenue area, which goes from the Eddie Rickenbacker Causeway north to the Miami River. It'll be Biscayne Bay west to Interstate 95. The Brickell Avenue area is one of 3 submarkets that together comprise the greater downtown Miami condo market. Those 3 submarkets are Brickell Avenue area to the south, the Central Business District in the center, and the Biscayne Boulevard corridor to the north. Biscayne Boulevard corridor is going to include neighborhoods like Edgewater, Midtown, and Wynwood. The Central Business District will be close to Museum Park, where you have the Perez Art Museum. You also have the Frost Science Museum. You also have the Kaseya Center and the station for the Bright Line, which effectively allows you to jump on a train in downtown Miami and end up in Orlando if you don't get off while traveling through places like Aventura, Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, and West Palm Beach. This Brickell Avenue area effectively is the premier location for condos in the greater downtown Miami area. All this together comprises greater downtown Miami, somewhere in the vicinity of about 204 condo projects and nearly 59,000 units. It's a vibrant market. It's a changing market. It's also a volatile market. So it's important to understand what's going on in that marketplace if, in fact, you are going to take a shot at trying to buy one of these condos. What you're going to find if you go on this tour is that we'll spend the 3 hours wandering around, taking a look at different buildings. We'll be wandering at a moderate pace. There'll be stops along the way. It's a rain or shine tour. I'm also going to give you a handout. I'm going to give you a handout of all 101 condo projects that are located in the Brickell Avenue area. I will teach you to analyze buildings. Why do you want to analyze a building? Well, we're big believers that if you're chasing after a condo, especially in South Florida, you need to identify the buildings that make sense. And once you find the buildings that make sense, then you can drill down and really focus on the units that make sense. I've seen way too many times where an investor will come in, they will chase after a whole series of units. Once they finally get a unit that they like, what happens? The condo declaration doesn't work for them. Maybe the rules don't work for them. Maybe the maintenance fee doesn't work for them. Maybe there's a special assessment. So this is why we recommend you take one of our Miami Condo Correction walking tours. We'll help you to understand and eliminate a bunch of the different noises that are out there and help you to really kind of focus on what you should be looking at. So again, that is going to be Saturday, July the 26th from 10 to 1 o'clock, rain or shine. So if you're interested in getting more information about our upcoming tour this Saturday, simply go to miamicondo.club, or you can buy tickets at miamicondoclub.eventbrite.com, miamicondoclub.eventbrite.com. Now, back to the analysis of the Brickell Avenue area and why it is overinflated. Well, I should tell you that the Brickell Avenue area, the current asking price today is coming in at just under $1.2 million. And in the winter buying season, which went from November through April, this is the time when the weather was great. This is the time when there were events going on every weekend, if not every day. And it's also the time where there's a carnival-like atmosphere down here in South Florida. Everybody wanted to be here, and as a result, there's a lot of activity looking at resale condos as well as new condos. And what we saw in terms of pricing is condos during the winter buying season, they went for about $945,000 a door. Current asking price today for a condo is about $1.2 million a door. Let's take those numbers and run them through the 1% rule to see how these condos are faring, whether or not they are overvalued, they're undervalued, or they're appropriately priced. Well, if you do some real quick math based on the 1% rule, and the 1% rule simply states this: if you take the monthly rent, that should represent effectively 1% of the value. So, for instance,